Well, sitting here with Scott Seefeld, my business partner, and we've been working together for 10 years. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary this year, and it has been one of the biggest, as I was just out walking this morning, just so thankful to God for what seems like his favor on our business and what we're doing, and that we approach all of these things as what is not just be different to be different, but what is broken in our industry, what seems to be off, what seems to tilt the tables in the favor of the consultant or the recruiter or somebody who's making a big fat commission check. And there were some problems, and we thought, wow, what if we sort of went with a blank canvas and said, how can we do this different? How can we do it better? How can we do it with a serve first mentality? How do we really serve companies and help equip them to make the best attraction, hiring, engagement, development decisions, advancement decisions to meet their people and performance objectives? And so it has been an absolute fun, adventurous, wild ride working with Scott, and he has brought so much focus and wisdom and just wise counsel to our team, and is incredibly respected, but within our community and within our company. And so here I am sitting here with Scott today. Let's hear Scott's side of the story. Scott, if you just rewind back to the 10 years, and you worked with a number of different startups and scale-ups and exciting, gone through 3 different economic downturns. You've seen a lot in your old age. But why don't you just tell your story about how Titus was started, birthed, founded, and see if it lines up with my memory. Just kidding. Give us your story, Scott.
So I'll rewind here for a moment and go back to 2007. And 2007 is when the Titus Group, which was our former company that you and I worked with, Jonathan, and that was essentially an internal audit and accounting firm. And we were awarded number 627 on the Inc. 5000 list in 2007 for the Titus Group. But one of the things that I really realized that was a weakness was our recruiting, our internal recruiting. And during that journey, people would ask me all the time, hey, can you help me find a CFO? Can you help me find a director of internal audit? And I kept saying, no, let's stay in the lane. Let's not veer from our consulting roots. And no, we don't do placement. And so here I was sitting with a firm that was successful, that had a not so great recruiting team, or it was a misaligned recruiting team. And I was having clients regularly ask, can you help me with permanent placement? And so I was actually sitting in it was a Vistage meeting, and they brought in a speaker, and you and I are both part of Vistage today. And at the time they brought in a speaker, and she mentioned that you ought to listen to your clients. They will tell you where they want you to go. And so it was a moment where I felt I really got hit over the head by a 2x4. And I realized that this is something that perhaps God was sharing with me. Hey, you need to go in this direction and need to include this in your business. And so that's when I started a journey to find the right person. And through it was a journey for me. It took 18 months, and I think it took longer. And I know you're going to share your side of the story as well. But it took me a long time, and we had several meetings before it. But eventually, we came together, and you came in and pretty much confirmed that, yep, you have a lot of not the right people in the seats, and especially if we want to start this unique recruiting model. So, so from that, we came together, and you helped me for the first year really get our internal recruiting in shape. And then after that, we were able to launch the whole Titus Talent, which is now Titus Talent today, was birthed. So
That's cool.
That's
That's
my
cool.
side of the story, and I'm sticking with it.
That's very, very similar, thankfully, to mine. So I joined with Scott in 2009, as he said in his story, that joined to launch literally a contingent recruiting practice. I had grown up in that space in my professional career and seen how the traditional contingent recruiting companies do it, the fee-based 25, 30% headhunting fees. And it's very lucrative. And it's a great business, been around for 150 years, started in Europe in the logging industry, the recruiting space. And it's not changed that much, from temp to hire, permanent hire or direct hire. And it's really competing against other companies, other agencies, other recruiting firms for speed. That's kind of how it works. Like you only pay if you get the candidate, and you're just competing on speed because usually multiple search firms are working on it. And so then it becomes this rat race of resume flinging. And you can say, oh, no, we believe in quality, but to spend the time and really understand what the role is, what success looks like, how somebody's going to fit into this role, how would we measure success on the person when we've hired them in anyway. All of that takes time and it needs a process. We can't just hire with our gut, we have to hire with our head. And I think Vistage actually says that 56% of executive hires fail within the first 18 months due to lack of following a process in the hiring stages. And so we don't know why we're hiring this person necessarily. There isn't a process or some kind of a scorecard or a system in place to know what is quality defined as, and how do we know if we got the right person in the right seat following Jim Collins' good to great principles. And so for us, we had this opportunity in 2010, sitting with Milwaukee Tool. It was a Milwaukee Electric Tool back then. And to say, listen, nobody wanted to spend 25 or 20% or 15% on headhunting fees back in 2010. We were just coming out of a great recession. There was 12% unemployment rate. You posted a job ad and you had 500 applicants. Then it was having to process to weed through all of those applicants. The average resume view is 6 seconds, a whopping 6 seconds. People are flicking on to the next resume. So we're making these decisions on whether somebody is worthy of coming into our process within a 6-second view of a resume. Just a quick heat map. Where are we looking here? Education, last history. But really, is that the whole person? No one's ever hired a resume. We don't hire resumes. We hire people, and there's a lot more to people than a piece of paper and their history. And so it was right then there, back in 2010, sitting with Milwaukee Tool, we got this opportunity to devise a new way of doing things. And so we started with them 10 years back, have great relationship with Milwaukee Tool and their parent company, TTI, and now 800 plus other companies worldwide. And it's been great to stay on the Inc. 5,000 fastest growing list. We're gonna make the 500 one day. Growth is exciting to us. It's exciting to me. It's exciting to Scott and our company. We are this sort of humble competitor environment where we love growth. We love winning, and we love winning for our clients. And so when we launched Titus Talent Strategies, we got to do some really cool things, which was, hey, we're a new company. It's kind of like when you get married, you're two different families merging together. You get to say, wow, what kind of family do we want to be? Or what kind of company do we want to be? We get to establish our own new values, our own culture. What do we want culture to look like? What kind of people do we want on the bus? And we want diverse thought and perspective, but we won't want to give up any of our values. We want to make sure they're very, very clear. We're going to hire to those values. And we're going to be clear on what performance looks like because we're committed to high performance. We've avoided saying we're a family because families, you have to stick with them. People in companies, you don't. And we are really, really clear on what performance looks like. We're really clear on what excellence looks like and results. So, Scott, what's your memory of how we established kind of who we are as a company and as a culture today? And what are some of the memory? I know it's a while back, well, 5 or 6 years back, where we started kind of playing around with this transition from a company that you'd started, Titus Group, that grew rapidly, 400% year-over-year growth at one point, which is insane. And then starting a new company. What were some of the differences? Not kind of the dirt on the old, but what were some of the differences for you, and what are your memories in establishing this new company, new culture?
Yeah, great question. So when we first came together, first off, I want to just I needed to find somebody who was so Titus means pleasing service, and it's also a book of the Bible. So we needed someone who really had passion, shared that same passion, shared the integrity, as well as wanting to do something radically different. And that's one of the things that I think we hit it off really well. That's one of the exciting things to start with is I think you and I were very aligned on those core principles. And that was really critical. So from there, we kind of talk, and what I remember is way back when I discovered the Traction book. And I brought that to you and Raul, who was our first employee.
Yeah.
And some of the fond memories are, hey, I found this book. I think this could be really cool. And in launching the company. So we met in Starbucks, actually, really early, 7 o'clock on Monday mornings, just to work on the business. And those were some, I don't know if you remember that, Jonathan, but we had that one table. And that was our table. Nobody could sit at it, even though they tried a few times, and we didn't really care. But we just met as a team, and we really, I remember doing it as a team effort. Hey, what do we want this to be? It was almost like it was our child that we were developing and growing together. So. It was fun. We took a lot of time thinking through what was important from the core values. That's a big Traction. So what are some of the lived values? And then it was a journey from there. Some of the exciting things I remember is we put up a big chalkboard in our old space, which was kind of your typical office space. So you actually built a chalkboard, put it was our big board list, and we made it fun. We took out some cubes, we brought in a pool table and a couch, and that kind of started a different way of thinking, because we came from a very internal audit, accounting, more formal, stodgy, and let's go into more of a creative environment. And so that was some of I think the fun, the excitement, the creativity that you brought in very early, which really was awesome for me.
We did have a lot of fun those days. Through the transition from old Titus Group to new Titus Talent, there was definitely some kind of friction and rub between these high office cubicles with internal audit and tax accountants and people crunching numbers, and then you got
energy consultants.
Yeah, you got this
few engineers in there. Yeah,
young, wild, competitive people who wanted to ring bells and scream and shout when they got a win of something, anything, little or big. Didn't really matter. We just wanted to celebrate, and it was probably seemingly wildly unprofessional for the all those CPAs that were sitting in there, and say that fondly as Scott's a CPA. But we did. We had a lot of fun at the beginning with those things and getting to craft it. And then as we transitioned through to this new company, Titus Talent Strategies, going from Starbucks sitting on the corner table and dreaming about what this business could and should look like. I remember sitting, our next office kind of war room was in a airplane hangar in Wisconsin, where we would meet on a monthly basis with our small leadership team war room and talk about how to, every time we've hit a ceiling, what got us to this point won't get us to the next point. And we would dream again and say, okay, how do we get to the next level? And I'm massively thankful for the Scott, you mentioned Traction, the book Traction, getting a grip on your business. which is really an operating system called the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And there are, I don't know how many companies running on this, 20 plus thousand companies around the United States, small, mid-sized companies from 10 employees to 500 employees. I think their target is 250, but scratch that. But yeah, the idea is looking at vision and data and process and traction and vision and people and issues. And what we started looking at is really, it was helping us, the EOS system, or Entrepreneurial Operating System, was really helping us put some structure around who we are, where we're going to be, what 3 years down the road looks like, what the next year is going to look like from major goals and rocks. What does our 10-year target look like? And it was amazing to start dreaming with this small leadership team of who we're going to be and where we're going to go. And what are some of the values and the core values that we will hold to. And I remember at that time really dialing into this people component of the 6 areas that the EOS system looks at. A part of their process. And the people area was an area where we really understood. We really understood the people component of what it took to get the right person in the right seat. And then it started companies calling us up and saying, hey, can you help us with our people? Can you help us with our people strategy? And so launching the company officially as Titus Talent Strategies. We didn't want to be a recruitment firm because of the connotation that comes to your head when you think recruiting firm. Dirty recruiters, slimy commission people. I know that there's great recruiters out there and there are great used car sales out there, but we use the term used car sales and it brings something to mind. And so for us, we didn't want to be a recruiting firm. We're a people strategy company and people strategy consulting firm, if you will, who does a lot of recruiting. But we also are really committed to education. We're really committed to equipping companies with the right information and the right knowledge and the right power to attract, hire, engage, and develop their people. And so it's when we started developing this. What is the point in hiring? It's not that somebody shows up on day one, it's that they get the job done. So we started looking at the day 365. It's far more important than day one. And we started putting some things in place. So maybe Scott, just free speak a little bit on talent strategy. What have you found really important to the companies that you work with all over the country and some of their big needs, and just free speak on talent strategy versus just recruitment?
I think one of the key moments in our EOS journey, Jonathan, was really discovering that visionary integrator relationship and our respective roles in that. And one of the things that I really have grown to appreciate is your visionary role and how not only are you creative and resourceful, but how amazing you are with people. And we are a people first company. And so just how you started and really brought amazing people together. I think of people like Raul. I think of people like Peter Hom and Mike Kinsey and Matt Miller, and I'm probably forgetting several others, but it is people like that who have really, really helped us be successful at this firm and continue today. I mean, we are people first. Your vision of having outstanding people to wow our partners, and profits are last, but profits are important because we want to reinvest in our people and our communities. Yeah. I think people have really embraced that, and that's a big part of our success today.
Absolutely. This is such an important thing. They call it the VI combo, the visionary and the integrator combo. And we work with a lot of EOS run companies, and that uniqueness of that combo working well is not an easy task. It's not an easy task. And I think one of the biggest areas is this humility of recognition of team is better than individual. And that we are better together than we are alone. And for you picture this, Scott being the president of Titus Group, me, some young whippersnapper coming in, and together being able to launch something new and different And reading this book and saying, for Scott as the president of the company, to say, Jonathan, when we actually look at the accountability chart and the right person in the right seat, this is your role and function as the visionary and I as the integrator. On the accountability chart, it's not very hierarchical, but it would put me above Scott. This is mind-blowing humility of this man that I get to serve and work with, to say, no, you sit in that seat and do that thing with your superpower. I'll do the thing with my superpower. And that combo is amazing. Now, I submit to Scott when we have an impasse, because that's the wild visionary in me is not responsible for making sure the stuff gets done. That's the integrator's role, the execution and the implementation and the integration of vision. And so he has the ability to say, no, we're not going to do that. And I get to submit to that. It's an amazing thing when it works, and it is quite miraculous. But I just want to point out the rich humility in this man, and that's what makes it work. I think that's a huge part of how we function as a team. We talk about humble competitors, and there have been times where we've had people who have come into our ranks, come into our team. They've done a wonderful job in the respectively of what we've asked them to do for a season of time. And then they reach this point where they said, hey, I think I'm better than the team. I think I can do this better. I think I can do this on my own. I don't think I need anyone else. I want it all for me. And it's at that second right there and then that they find themselves to the door, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work when you have arrogance. It doesn't work when you have just pride, and it doesn't work when you say, I can do it all on my own. And that is a tough tension to have. We want hard charging, driven people who want to go change the world, but they want to do it in team. And so I think there's a unique thing about Titus is team, and getting that mix right is very difficult, but we work really, really hard at it. But I think the first team that we ever started was this team between Scott and I, and we work hard to protect that. And every now and again, we're like, hey, do we need to get on the same page? A few things, feel this maybe a little bit, we're seeing things differently, a bit of a tension. What is that? And we hash it out, figure it out. And like, we always come away going, yeah, good. We're on the same page again. We're working together. We see the same vision.
So Jonathan, I want to ask you a visionary question. Can you talk a little bit about your vision? We have an annual progress event.
Yeah.
And that's a very important event for us. And most recently, we did something pretty exceptional. Can you just talk about how did you come up with the vision for the annual progress? And then can you talk about our Mexico trip and how you came about that?
So Scott, great stuff. You've mentioned that we put our people first, our partners second, what we call our customers. So people, partners, and then profits. And they're in that order, very, very close behind each other. If we're not profitable, we can't have people. So we prioritize our decision-making, what's best for our people, then our partners, then profits. And so once a year, because we're a 100% remote company or mobile company, as we say, we bring the whole company together for an annual gathering. It's not a meeting, it's a gathering. We come together for a few days of fun, of laughter, of learning, of growth, of investing in relationship. It is really, really important to us. It's like family vacation. Everyone puts their phone down and we're just together and present. And it's not built around technology, which a lot of our world is, but it's human connection. And we really, really cherish these times. But we actually put the themes in the order of people, partners, profits. So one year will be people focused. The next will be our partners and their journey. Bring some of our partners in and really understand how to give much better experience and service and serve our partners. And then the third year would be profits. Let's spend some of our profits together. So we have a commitment of generosity from one of the very first dollars that we made as a company. We said, okay, we're going to give off of this dollar. And so some might call it tithing, some might call it just a journey of generosity, some might call it just a principle of giving to those in need around us. We want to change the world in a positive way. That's it. We want to transform communities in a positive way. It's why we exist. It's our purpose. And so we have a dreamy goal to give back 30 million by 2030. So a 10-year dream or 10-year target, 30 million by 30. So this past year, the focus was on profits. And I had an experience with my family a couple of years ago to go and do a home build in Mexico. and with a group called Homes of Hope, or Youth with a Mission, and it was awesome. It transformed my family's life, and I thought, what a wild idea would it be to bring the entire company for our annual gathering. We call it Progress, and bring everybody down here to Mexico to build homes together. It would bring them on a journey, not of generosity, but of seeing those in desperate need, in poverty, and building homes for them. But it would be as many kind of trips like that. It does more for us, it seems, than it does for the people we're giving to. But we built 3 homes for 3 different families, and I think they're probably at the end of the two or 3 days away together. Nearly everybody in our debrief session were like, wow, what an experience that this brought for them, and changed them on their sort of radical view of life and why we exist, and serving other people. So it was fantastic from that perspective. And we did that in February of this year, right before COVID. And I'm glad we got back into the country and everyone's safe and healthy and well. And but already people are dreaming about the next year's Progress, and then a supplemental trip. Can we come again and bring our families down to Mexico and do it again? So yeah, it's one of the highlights of my year, getting to dream up what Progress gathering will be like, what the theme will be built around, and very excited about spring of 2021.
I think it was very life-changing individually for our people, as well as team bonding. Our team has really bonded through the whole experience. One of the coolest moments for me was sitting in the van, and we're building houses. We're building 3 houses, right?
Yeah.
And one of the teams, it was a team that I happened to just be part of, was saying, how much were the mortgages? And if we all chipped in $100-$150, we could change these people's lives forever. Yes. And that just really was a wow moment for me. Yeah. Because we were caring about people we hardly knew. Yeah. And just seeing that from the entire team, just in a moment, just went, yep, let's do it. That was so amazing. So let me ask you this, Jonathan. What's next for Titus?
Oh, this is a good question. I love this. I have a personal weekly activity scorecard of just making sure, holding myself accountable. And I have recently added in, I really must make sure that I'm spending time on the 3 and 10 year, the 3 year, where we're going in the next 3 years, and then our 10-year target, because what we do today sets us on a course for where we're going. If you're a few degrees off when you leave London, Heathrow Airport, and you're trying to fly to Chicago, a couple of degrees off, no big deal. You won't end up in Indiana or something like that. You're going to end up in Mexico. The direction you set your course at is really, really important. And so for us, making sure our purpose of why we exist, the why, is really important. So our why for us is that we hire people and bring people onto our team who wow our partners, who in turn bring healthy profits for us to be able to reinvest in our people and our communities. That 30 million by 2030 is a big kind of heartbeat of why we exist. We want to serve our people really well, see them grow, advance, and develop on their career journey, and at the same time giving back to transform communities, but through our people, really. So the why is really, really important. But what that looks like in 10 years' time and 3 years' time is very, very clear, because we have it written down in what's called our vision, traction, organizer. What does the 3 year look like? And so we're really clear on what it looks for our people, what it looks like for our partners, and what it looks for our profits, what we're doing with those things. And so there's a lot of clarity around that. But I think probably one of the biggest changes here is this. Technology is driving a lot in the industry right now when it comes to artificial intelligence, around hiring and understanding kind of what's going on with people, their thought process before they even know they're thinking about it, with the quite nice futuristic thinking and all the technology surrounds that. So we're upping our game in our technology. It's one area, so that we can respond in faster speed to our clients' needs. The other is just around understanding holistically the whole person. So we talk about the head, the heart, the briefcase, or the hands, what people do with all of those, kind of how they think, how they behave, kind of the heart, being their value alignment, and then how they use their hands to develop and serve in companies, but really understanding that. And then the next component is training. So training companies around this. So our consulting division is passionate about equipping companies through knowledge transfer. So our training programs are getting quite a lot of visibility in companies saying, help, we don't want to be handcuffed to big recruiting firms and recruiting fees out there. Can you partner with us as a talent strategy company? Not only help us attracting the best people, how to hire the best people, how to evaluate the best people, how to do performance management with them, help us understand how to manage people on a remote basis, help us to our managers to actually coach better and create cultures of coaching, help our leaders lead better. And so we are really passionate about our consulting division, serving our partners really well in the years ahead. I think you're going to see a lot more around education, training, knowledge transfer, equipping companies to do what we have been historically doing for them. So that is, the opposite of a great consultant, isn't it? Great consultants figure out more and more problems and how they're the answer to those problems in companies. For us, that it wouldn't be our harder perspective. We actually want to kind of do ourselves out of a job, but serve more and more companies. So yeah, that's a little bit. I know it can be a little bit all over the place, but we are very excited about the future. It motivates us.
It's we're not sitting still at Titus. It's ever-changing times, and we're really excited to kind of keep reaching for the stars, keep reaching out for those 3-year and 10-year goals. That's what really that's exciting and drives the entire team. So.
Oh, I love it. Well, here's to 10 more years. But yeah, we're excited about that. I think somebody said to me recently, they said, okay, picture, what are we today? August 19th, 2020, recording this right now. They said, okay, so it's August 19th, 2030. What does your life look like? What does your company look like? What are you doing? What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? Who is surrounding you? It's quite motivating and challenging when you start writing those things down and thinking about those things, and then asking yourselves, what do we need to do today to put ourselves on the trajectory for that? So doing that for my own life personally, doing it for my marriage, doing it for my family, imagining where my kids are going to be. Oh gosh, what do I need to do and invest in my kids to help them get on that journey? And then what do I need to do for the company? Who are all these key leaders that are around me? Are they going to be with us in 10 years' time? If they are, what do I need to be doing today to help develop them and provide those opportunities and advancement for them? So, and then also, who do I need to surround myself with that is not close to me, that isn't on my board, my leadership team, my council? What am I missing from perspective that's going to help me get to that goal? So always challenging, and love dreaming about the future, and I love working with Scott Seefeld. So thanks for this. Thanks for taking time to listen and join our journey and our story. And together we will change the world.